It's Tessa Tuesday.
Listen, I used to be somebody who did things. Like, I've literally spent hundreds of hours of my life learning how to play guitar so that I would get to play it for people. Now, I can't even get out of bed in the morning to brush my teeth without first putting on a podcast, because God forbid I be unentertained for one single moment. Am I happy? No! I feel like I spend every free moment of every day needing to be entertained. And there's an entropy to it. The more I let myself be entertained, the more I need it, the more I feel I am unable to do anything without it. And I know I can't be the only one who feels this way, because of course it is just so compelling to be entertained, to think less, to let the algorithm decide for you. It's too much. Es demasiado. ¿Sabes? ¿Me entiendes? I miss the days when I could create without instinctively reaching for my phone the second I felt bored or unsure of myself. I fear I have become a worse problem solver. I fear I have worn down my resilience. And suddenly I have this image in my head that I am on a train going somewhere that I don't want to go, toward a future where I've spent my life not making memories, not making art, not making friends, but instead staring at a screen. Listen, let me let you in on a dream I have. Well, two dreams. One, I want to make more beautiful art and tell more compelling stories. But I know if I want to do this, I have to be the one to practice it. The other thing, and this is kind of silly, but I just think it would be very cool to someday be an older person who can just sit there, unentertained and unbothered. Like, I like my little screen break from socializing. Anyway, right now when I try and sit there, I hear this ping, ping, ping in my head. Be entertained. I believe I can be someone who doesn't feel that way. I believe I can be someone who feels peace. And I believe I can do hard things. So let's do it. 1 month, no screens, no entertainment, just boredom. And art. Hello, my name's Tessa Violet. You may know me as the girl from the music video in the grocery store. Or if you're a real OG, you may know me as Mika Kitty. Iconic slay. Anyway, this year I'm releasing my new album called There Will Be Joy, 1 song at a time, 1 month at a time. And along with every song, I'm also doing a companion challenge that tangentially relates to the theme of the songs. Anyway, this is the companion challenge for my first song, Knowing. I already have a video out at Grand Canyon West where I sing the song and I talk a little bit about it, so if you want even more content, there is a link in the description. Anyway, enough's enough! On to my rules and tools for this challenge. Okay, the first thing I want to say is that I know I'm basically about to spend an entire video hating on screens, so I want it on the record that I don't think screens are bad. I think screens are tools. I don't even think it's necessarily bad to spend time scrolling. It's just that, you know, balance is important to me, personally. Anyway, my rules and tools. First, my rules. I cannot watch TikTok, watch Instagram, watch YouTube, watch TV, or listen to podcasts. I feel like I'm forgetting something important, but what I can do, use screens as tools for creativity. Also, yes to basic things that make life easier, like GPS and texting. I can watch movies if it's a communal experience, like my friends or family want to watch a movie. My intention is to reactivate my brain, not become totally isolated from everyone I know. But I can't watch movies alone. I can listen to audiobooks because reading is challenging for me, but only if I'm willing to clasp my hands and stare into the middle distance, which is to say I can't do any multitasking while I'm listening to an audiobook. So it's as if I'm reading it. So really, I know a better name for this challenge would be no entertainment, not no screens, but as you can see, I have actually already finished the challenge, and colloquially I refer to it as no screens. I'm sorry, sue me. Anyway, I got a lot of questions from my friends why audiobooks okay, but podcasts not okay. For me, it's because oftentimes when I'm listening to a podcast, it's easy to just only partially pay attention, especially toward the end, and be like, oh, well, whatever, I'll just start another episode. But if you're listening to fiction specifically, if you stop paying attention for even a second, you have to go back because you may have missed something important. So it's more about the focus of it. Focus on me. I'm sorry, I've been watching too much Mike's Mike. Okay, great. Now, my tools. I intend to do this process utilizing 3 tools. Number 1, Commitment. Every time I say to myself, what if I just used a little bit of screen? I plan to tell myself, no, that's just not what we're doing right now. Like, I already know what it feels like to have just a little screen time, but I'm curious to find out how it would feel to walk a new path. And I only get to find out how that feels if I'm willing to commit to the path I'm walking. I know this sounds absurd, but I actually utilize this tool every day as I was doing this. 2, noticing. When I feel myself wanting to reach for my phone, I'm just going to ask myself, what do I notice is going on inside of me? Most of this video is just going to be me going through what I notice. And number 3, my third and final tool, being gentle with myself. When I agreed to do these tools at the beginning of this experience, I did not know how this was going to come into play, but it actually came up in a very sweet way, so. And that's gonna be the video. So I will see you in 1 week from when I wrote this, not from when I filmed it, to check in on my progress. Mwah, 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 mwah. All right, that's 5 days done. One of my intentions was to be more creative, and I think that I am being very successful with that. I find myself bored more often, so I'm using more of my creative tools. Unfortunately, my other desire, which is to be bored more often, I'm avoiding. I do not want to be uncomfortable. So to avoid being uncomfortable, I will make things, which, is good, but let's go through my notes. Truly, I picked an absolutely deranged week to start this experiment. My first hour of no screens, I flew to a wedding with my friend, which I thought was going to be easy because, as we've already established, I am allowed to watch movies if I'm doing it in a communal way with a friend. Unfortunately, all the screens were out on our flight. Some notes I took on that first day. Couldn't think of who wrote Alice in Wonderland, so we asked the people behind us. Okay, that's like kind of fun, is that for the first time in forever, if I don't know something, I either just have to not know it, or I have to ask someone for help. And that feels very like community vibes. The night after the wedding, we were all like hanging out, socializing, and I felt the desire within me to pull out my phone, and I didn't, but I noticed that my body was telling me that it was tired and ready to go to bed and done with socializing. I don't know how often I'm reaching for my phone when I'm ready to be done socializing, but it felt good just to acknowledge, like, oh yeah, I hear you, you're tired, that makes sense. And then the rest of my notes are just feeling grouchy because I can't look at my phone. Okay, wait, I thought of one more thing I want to add. I feel like usually at the airport, I would be constantly looking at a screen or listening to something. But because I don't have those tools to utilize, I find myself looking around at the other human beings around me and wondering about them. Who are you? Where are you from? What is your story? And although I'm not actually speaking with these people, because most people at the airport don't want to be spoken to, I find it to be a very charming thought, and I feel like it is making me feel happier. We're at the end of the, oh shit, escalator. Woo! Anyway, I think you get the idea. I miss listening to podcasts. Honestly, I feel sad about it. I feel sad about not being able to listen to podcasts.
That's so funny.
So funny.
That's so funny.
I have this pile of laundry in the back here, and I'm thinking about how I'm just about in silence. And I know we've established that I can listen to music, but to be honest, guys, I feel like I'm musiced out. You know that experience when you love eating a specific food and then one day you never want to see it again? That is how, at this moment, I feel about the idea of having to listen to music while folding my laundry. And I know people for most of human history folded their laundry in silence, but I don't live in most of human history. I live now. Do I not deserve a pinch of entertainment? Here's what I wrote down a few days ago when I first noticed my podcast, LeMaze. LeMaze? I really strongly miss getting to listen to something while doing something else. I feel really sad about it. It makes me wonder if, in fact, being alone as much as I am, as I work alone, is something that makes me feel sad, actually. But I didn't notice it before because I was always listening to someone else talking. So, yeah, if I were to put a positive glint on that experience, I guess I would say that I am learning something about myself in this process. I do like being alone, but maybe I don't like being alone as much as I am. Maybe I feel lonely. All right, on the happier side, I am noticing or discovering that I feel less anxiety or worry about bad things that could happen. I am just present in the moment I am currently in, and I feel more trust. Yeah, it's interesting even getting to read that aloud. I do feel like the sense of my focus shifting from my feelings annoyance right now into honestly just the beauty of being here now. For the first time, I'm having these moments of just enjoying being present, not feeling bored, not wanting to reach for anything, feeling that actually just being here with my attention is the activity. And that feels very beautiful and exciting. I feel happy about that. All right, another thing that's happening is I feel like I'm developing more of an awareness that I am a person that I'm spending time with. How often do I spend conscious time with myself? I'm not alone. I'm here with me. So, all right, that's my update. All right, week 2. Let's go, ladies. Okay, so this week I did another flight. I went to Rolla, Missouri to play a college show, which, by the way, was so much fun. And I would just like to put out into the universe that if you are in college right now, you could request me to play a show at your college. And I think the college shows are fun because, how do I say this? Not a lot of people come. Like, if I play a show in Chicago, which has a population of like 1 million, there's probably gonna be 500 Tessa Violet fans. But if I play a show at a college that has a population of like 2,000 to 10,000 people, we're looking at like 30 or 40 people. There's less of a separation between like performer on stage and audience. Likely the fan who has requested the show is also working the show, so you kind of get to know each other all day, and then you're like doing the show together. I don't know, I felt really encouraged by the experience and I would like to do more. So I'm putting it out into the universe. If you are in college and you would like to see what is essentially a private Tessa Violet show, you can make that happen. Anyway, I feel like I'm getting used to being at the airport. I feel like I'm getting used to just being where I am, and I am enjoying it. I had this experience this week that Dante and I were watching a movie, but about halfway through, he wants to make tea, so he pauses the movie. And it's this sensation of dropping down a gear. And I really strongly thought of the sound of the Super 8 camera, how I didn't notice the motion happening as I was being entertained, but I felt it so big when it stopped. And immediately, I feel the impulse to reach for my phone. I notice it too at the airport when like whoever I'm traveling with goes to the bathroom and then I'm alone for a second, again, that impulse to reach for the phone. But once I decide not to do that and I'm just wherever I am, it's nice, actually. Sometimes I go through phases where I'm actively meditating every morning, and I haven't been doing that for this process. But I kind of feel like I'm catching little glimpses of meditating all day. And it feels bigger than when I try and jam 10 minutes of meditation into my day that is otherwise completely bombarded by work and entertainment. So, I don't know, that's nice. What else do I got for you? I know I'm looking at a screen to read my notes. Guys, the desire was to not be entertained, not to make my life impossible, and I don't feel like carrying a notepad around. I wrote, I notice I'm often reaching to consume something or to add or change my current state. Like, oh, I want another coffee, even though I've had enough caffeine. At first, it feels uncomfortable to be in the state of just being, but the longer I sit in it, the nicer it becomes. I guess until a point. I do get bored eventually, but then that's where getting to be creative comes in. Ow! Fuck. Okay, so as I'm filming this, it is currently 3 days from Halloween, which means I've been spending the month hand stitching my Halloween costume. What am I being, you ask? But of course, I'm being a working class Irish woman from the late 1800s. An easily recognizable costume for anyone. Something that I'm finding very surprising about stitching this whole skirt in silence, I thought it would have been torturous. In fact, if you'd asked me at the beginning of this process what I would miss more, getting to do something with my hands while I'm listening to something, or getting to listen to something while I'm doing something, I would have said, obviously, I'm going to miss watching Princess Weeks while I'm sewing. But I actually find it to be the other way around. I really don't mind doing this in silence so much, and I really miss getting to do something with my hands while I'm listening to my audiobooks. Another interesting thing that I'm noticing is that screens are a great tool if what you're trying to do is grind. Like, I can do a lot more without taking a break if I'm getting to be stimulated by entertainment while I'm doing it. But when I'm sewing in silence, I find that I'm more in touch with my body and what it's asking for. So I'm more likely to sense when I want a break, and I'm more likely to take shorter breaks from whatever I'm doing, because before my little treat would be some scrolling, but when your break is just like going for a little walk, you just feel like recharged quicker and ready to keep going. So that feels really positive, guys. I'm enjoying that. All right, I'm having a thought and I don't feel like setting up the full camera to do it. So I'm about to leave for New York for 2 weeks to work on the production for this album. My whole house is a mess. It's all covered in the remnants of sewing from getting the Halloween costume together. So today I need to clean the house completely and also pack for this 2-week trip. And there's a voice inside of me that keeps saying, maybe we can make an exception for the no screens. Like, it is a lot to do, and like, would having a podcast on hurt? I mean, it would help. I would be able to do this task faster, I believe, if I had a podcast going. Anyway, I'm just kind of chewing into this feeling of if I made an exception, then I wouldn't get to experience whatever's on the other side of having done the difficult thing. Like, I already know what it feels like to have some sort of podcast or audiobook going all the time. And I'm going to get to discover something new by trying something new. And that means trying it even when it's hard and inconvenient. I'm going to stop recording and I'm going to get up and I'm going to start picking up fabric scraps. Okay. All right, bye for real.
Snap forward like 3 hours and I am still packing and cleaning and starting to feel quite depressed about it, actually. I find myself wistfully staring out the window and thinking, wow, I cannot wait for it to be tonight and watching a movie with my mom. And then I think, oh, has carving space out via no screens created the space within me to experience longing? And will getting to watch a movie with my mom tonight be all the sweeter for it? Anyway, now the sun is beginning to set and I am really starting to get desperate. Do I feel like crying at this point? Yes. And that's the moment when I remember my third and final tool, being gentle with yourself. Maybe it doesn't need to be this binary of either put a podcast on and get it finished quickly, or be present but be taking an absurdly long time. Maybe there's a third way. And I put my hand on my heart and I say, okay, Tessa, I see you. What do you need right now? And I hear my little self say, I need help. And I say, yes, I see you, sweet child. What can we do to help us right now? And me and my inner child, we collaborate and figure out that maybe I could put on a YouTube video that has somebody cleaning in it, but not talking while they're doing it. And sure enough, I finish it. And I feel like, wow, if I'd put on a podcast when I first felt uncomfortable, I wouldn't have got to have the lived experience of discovering the third tool. I wouldn't have gotten to have the lived experience of being gentle with myself. It made me have this other thought. When I talk to myself with awareness, I get to have the experience of both being the speaker and being the spoken to. So when I speak gently, I get to have the experience of both being and saying very gentle words and being the person who gets to receive such gentleness. And it also makes me think of all the people who are speaking very harshly to themselves right now, and how they're experiencing being a harsh person and being spoken to harshly all the time. So, I don't know. It felt like a profound week for me. I don't know if I can I don't know. It's hard to reenact it for a vlog. I will say it was very touching to me when I experienced it. I don't know. I feel like there's something there. Anyway, that was week 3 for me. I'll see you literally in 1 moment for week 4. Holy shit! I did it! Wow. Okay, the first thing I want to say is I literally feel so proud of myself. I was unhappy with how I was spending my time, and I did the very difficult thing of practicing change. And now I get to be on the other side of the experience like, wow, I can do hard things. Stop. Stop. I just feel better and accomplished. I had a great last week of this process. I felt like I was really catching my stride. I'm no longer feeling bored or itchy when I'm just sitting there. In fact, I'm starting to just enjoy sitting there. Wow. I spent the 4th week of this project in the studio with Robin, working on the production for the back half of this album, including the song that inspired this video. I had some fans come in to sing.
Knowing this is not enough is enough. Sorry.
And I navigated a lot of public transport just staring into the middle distance. I had this amazing moment where I was on the subway at night and the train bursts out of the tunnel onto the bridge and I can see the whole city lit up against the night sky. And suddenly I see my own reflection staring back at me. A woman sitting relaxed, hands clasped, no phone, no headphones. And I was like, holy shit, I'm doing it. I'm just sitting here, relaxed, not feeling bored, just enjoying being present with my own thoughts. And also I was like, and literally I look so cool. I took this video, which was, this video does not at all capture how cool it felt, because taking the video of the reflection, anyway, you'll have to trust me, I looked very cool. So, wow. What could I say is my takeaway from this project? I guess I would say when I take away the entertainment that is filling every moment of every day, I create space to be able to feel the arrow within my heart and observe it pointing toward creativity and community. And I realize that I actually do not want to be alone as much as I am, and do not actually want to be entertained as much as I am. I also just experienced that I'm like more capable than I thought I was. I mean, you know, somewhere deep down I knew, but before I did this, I was feeling pretty incapable to do a lot of stuff. And I'm like, oh, yeah, what you practice, you get good at. If I start practicing tolerance to feeling uncomfortable, then I build resilience. And then I feel comfortable. Would you look at that? Another thing I want to talk about, as I've been doing this, basically every person I've spoken to has been like, oh, I should do that. And what I want to say is if you want to try this, you can have it. You can do it. And I want to acknowledge that a month is very ambitious. And there's a tension within me as I want to talk about this, because on one hand, I feel like I experienced a lot of the joy and growth of it in like week 3, week 4. But at the same time, I think I was only able to do a month of commitment because I was making this YouTube video. So there's a sense of like, ooh, but like I'm telling a story. What's the story I'm telling? If I don't do the process, I won't get to know the ending. So as a suggestion, and please follow your own arrow heart, I think for some people, it will be easier to make a smaller commitment on the front end. Maybe you can start with just Saturday and set yourself up for success with like the creative projects you want to do. I feel like this experience relit the flame of creativity within me. And I suggest a shorter commitment because there is a phenomenon, I think this could be wrong, where if I say I'm gonna do something for a certain amount of time and then I falter once, I'm like, never mind, I give up. So if you can shorten the commitment, you're more likely to experience success, and then I feel like you're more likely to re-up. Does that make sense? The other thing I want to say is that a lot of people said to me, wow, I wish I felt more comfortable without my phone so that I would stop being on my phone all the time. Or some variation of, if I felt differently, I would act differently. And I really strongly relate to this feeling, and let me know in the comments if you feel I'm wrong about this. This is my experience. Waiting to feel differently to change how I act is a fool's dream. But when I change what I do, I change how I feel. And like I say in my song, nothing changes if nothing changes. And I can do hard things.
I have this image in my head.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching my new video, and thank you so much for the love and support on my new song, Knowing. If you like this video, please give me a like and a sub to the channel. This year I'm uploading a new video almost every Tuesday. If I'm not uploading here, then you can find me live on Twitch, so be sure to be back for Tessa Tuesday, every Tuesday, here on YouTube. Also guys, quick reminder, if you want the Knowing postcard, you have 1 week left to pre-order that. That'll be available until January 31st when it'll swap over for the next song. Same with the January badge for Knowing, available only until January 31st. Just wanted to highlight a few comments. Dharma Keller author says, I needed to hear this message, wishing you all the best this year. Thank you so much. I am wishing you all the best too. May you be brave, sow new seeds, and experience a beautiful harvest. Matt Palka says, absolutely delightful time, and reminder that life should have many life chapters of enoughs. Matt, it is so nice to see you in the comments again. Matt's been a longtime viewer, and it just warms my heart to see people I remember from early YouTube days. It's so amazing to literally grow up together. Anyway, Matt, sending you so much love and joy in this year, 2026. Lastly, I just want to say a big thank you to my patrons, especially my new patrons. If you're a patron and you want to help me decide my rules and tools for my next challenge, I will be live just for patrons this Wednesday at 10 a.m. PST. I know a lot of patrons just want to set and forget it, but if you're a patron and have been curious about the live streams, come on through. Would love to see you. My next song's called I Love Being Wrong, and it's about the joy of being wrong and a willingness to be like, hey, listen, there's some things I believe I'm right about, but I've been wrong before, and I'm always open to learning something new. It's a follow-up to Make Me a Robot, so if that song had a special place in your heart, I think you will like this one too. All right, that's all from me. Sending you love, sending you gentleness. You can do big things. You can change your life. You can make the world a better place. And I believe when you let yourself be who you really are, you give everyone else permission to be who they really are too. You matter. And don't forget it. With heart, Tessa.